making up tall tales, Grey. It's embarrassing for a boy your age." I glared at the floor, uncertain of what to say to him. The world was filled with all kinds of mystical creatures, some that could invade the dreams of others. But my father was right. Our Isle of Halin only had 2 mystical species. The unicorns who roamed the southern field were beautiful when they trotted across the green grass, their ivory coats glittering in the island's sunshine. They were immune to poison and known for their speed. But unicorns didn't have any magical abilities to walk through dreams. And the hippogriffs, who were half horse, half eagle, roosted on the peak of Halin Mountain, watching over our small port city. Their golden feathers and sharp talons were the pride of the island. Hippogriffs could manipulate the wind and were sturdy beasts who navigated the skies with magically enhanced senses. But just like unicorns, hippogriffs weren't the type of creatures who entered the dreams of others. "What if the beasts in my dreams are mystical creatures who came to the island?" I asked, scooting to the edge of my rickety bed. "Maybe they're dream creatures who are walking into my dreams because they want to hurt me specifically." My father narrowed his eyes, the dark rings under them noticeable even in the dim lantern light. "You're saying powerful mystical creatures came to the island to hunt the son of the local candlemaker?" He spoke every word with a healthy amount of sarcasm. 13-year-old boys must be in short supply on the mainland. "I'm being serious. Oh, wait, I just remembered something." All emotion drained from my father as he stared at me. "An ancient prophecy about our island said a young boy with the name of a colour would be destined for greatness and hunted by great evil." I held my breath for a long moment. Then I whispered, "Really?" All sarcasm returned as he frowned. "Don't be ridiculous. Of course not. The Isle of Halin has no prophecies. We're lucky if we get anything other than storms." With a huff, I turned away from him. Again, my father wasn't listening. I could shout about my problem until I ran out of breath, and he'd still ignore it in favour of sleep, or dismiss it with a quick joke. I didn't want to depend on him to solve this. I didn't want to depend on anyone. But what could a 13-year-old do? I would have given anything to have the power to solve this myself. "Good night, Grey," my father said as he closed the door all the way, leaving me alone in the room with the darkness. I hadn't slept since the night of the attack. Probably a mistake. The beasts in my dreams, could they really be dream-manipulating creatures who wanted to hurt me? The ability to walk into someone's dream was rare, very rare, and my father was right. Why would anyone want the random son of a tallow chandler? There was nothing to gain from my death. Nothing. I pulled my legs up onto my bed and held my knees close to my chest. What was I supposed to do now? In my dreams, the monsters had been hideous beasts made of shadow. I never got a good look at them. It had been a dream, after all. Everything had felt nebulous and abstract. Once the monsters had appeared, it had turned into a hunt. They had chased me, and when they had caught me, I had felt their bloodlust. Maybe the monsters weren't mystical creatures. Maybe they were something else. Mystical creatures were usually intelligent. They could speak, reason, and concoct plans. A thunderbird had once come to town to warn us about a nearby hurricane, and the hippogriffs had flown into town to talk to the mayor about the problems at the docks. The unicorns didn't particularly like being here, though. They had arrived on our island 4 months ago when a ship had wrecked on our shores. The hold of the ship had been filled with unicorn foals, 7 in total, and since then the goat ranchers on the island had looked after them. But every rancher complained about how needy the unicorns were. Spoiled, that was the word everyone used to describe them. The unicorn foals always wanted the freshest fruits and the most bizarre flowers. The monsters in my dreams had never said a word. They hadn't even growled. The monsters had come at me as silent as a grave, and with the cold malice of murderers. Fortunately, my brother wasn't having any nightmares. Just me. Good old lucky me. I dwelled on the problem, fatigue settling over me like dust across the furniture. My eyelids grew heavy as I glanced at the window. The moon shone through the cracks in the